2 months preparing for a triathlon. It's the sprint triathlon. It's the shortest one. It's the starting one. It consists of a 800-meter swim, translates to 0.5 miles, so half a mile. 20-mile bike ride. This can vary from anywhere from 15 to 20. And then a 4-mile run at the end of it. All right. It was a great experience, hosted by Whidbey Island, Whidbey Telecom. Shout out to them. They hosted a great event. They host this yearly. So I would say that if anybody was in the market to do something like this, or was interested in doing something, I would say Whidbey Island Triathlon is the way to go. They host it annually, once a year. Great community, great people, great event. You'll see people of all backgrounds, people who are of all ages, people from all over. I do recommend this if you're anywhere on the PNW or specifically in Seattle. I ran this with my buddy Pat. You should follow him at Pat_RickFPGL. He's great. I ran my half with him. It's good to have like-minded people around you when you're running the event. That way you're also not running it alone, right? We both have done our first half marathon and our first triathlon this year. In the span of 3 months, we did something back-to-back that was hard. I will say it was much better result for him. I will say you win some and you learn some for me. He ended up taking home the division for 20 to 24 for the first place, finishing with that in 1 hour and 58 minutes, the whole entire course. I told him I would be right behind him and to win at any cost. We prepared for this pretty well, and we were both pretty stoked about doing it. But I struggled a little bit more than he did. And it was a little bit of a bummer for me, and the results were a little bit disappointing because I knew I could be standing up there right next to him. He also knew that. He was a little bummed for me, but it's okay. You know, you win some and you learn some. There'll always be a next time, and I'm lucky to have finished, given the circumstances I was put in. Within the first 5 minutes, I was about 400 yards out into the water. I had a right leg cramp. This felt like a dead leg, you know, anything from the knee up was cramped. I couldn't kick, I couldn't bend. So I felt like I was just limp in the water like this, kicking with one leg for the finishing 400 yards. Which when I was looking at the shore constantly, I was pretty far away. That was very not motivating, but I ended up getting through it, finishing in 21 minutes, which was not a bad time given the circumstances I was put in. I was still cramped though when I left the water, and I was cramped even when I got onto the bike. And this bike course was by no means a flat course. 381 feet was the maximum elevation that you gain at once. Total elevation was 1,500 feet. Yeah, so you can only imagine that both my legs definitely did cramp, but cramp never goes away. I spent about 20 minutes on the ground after 2 minutes on the bike, and I was lucky that a watcher came and helped me out, as well as the sheriff. I definitely thought at this moment I should just quit, give up, but the thought kind of angered me a little bit because I was like, I did not train this hard to not finish this race. And moments before, I was telling Patrick before we got into the water that we win at all costs. So winning in my books in this case was just to finish. Winning in his case was to finish first. So I'm glad and was proud that one person did actually finish first, and that we both finished, because it was a very humbling experience for me. I'm grateful. But despite the result, I was a little disappointed in, because, you know, you put in a lot of work and a lot of effort into doing something, and if it doesn't turn out the way you thought it would, or what you thought you could do, it's a little angering to an extent. But I put that past me. Those feelings were just mere feelings in the moment, and I am grateful for the result nonetheless. I cramped up in both my legs at this maximum elevation of 381 feet, which you had to do twice on this course. yeah, I was lucky that I ran into some people who gave me some water and gel to really just hydrate and get those electrolytes in. But I was feeling the worst pain I think I've ever felt in a while. Both legs were cramped. I couldn't really bend. It was a struggle to bend my knees. And I had to walk my bike up, which was a little frustrating for me that I couldn't bike up this hill. But by the time I got to the run, it was well over 2 hours, and both my legs were already cramped from the hamstrings to the quads to the calf. Um, I was taking it one leg at a time, and I just went for it. Pat's parents were telling me, "Are you sure you want to run this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have to. There's no other option. I'm going to finish." The 4 miles was definitely a pain. I definitely seemed a little bit crazy as I was talking to myself, telling myself, "You finish what you start," and asking the Lord for some strength. But I finished, and that was the best feeling I could have possibly felt that day. I finished with a time of 2 hours and 57 minutes. Um, I was probably last for my division, but I could care less. Nobody had a double leg cramp, and I'm still feeling the cramps today. Could be a pulled ligament or a tear, unsure yet. I gotta go get it checked out, but I mean, it doesn't stop you from doing something if you want it bad enough. The desire and the burning will to finish was there, and I felt like I was still the man nonetheless after I finished. I'm I'm proud of the results. I would do it again. There's more to come because obviously the results for me this time around were not as what I expected. Um, so I'm thinking there'll be more. There will definitely be more, and I'm just gonna prepare myself for the next hard challenge that I'm going to face within the next year. All right. And if anybody has any more questions about Whidbey Island, feel free to hit me up and ask me some more about it. I'd be willing to give some more details and information about it. But anyways, have a good week. About to go train. Continue to win some and learn some, my friends.